Welcome to class. In this lesson, we shall be discussing the second part of microorganisms around us. And under this lesson, we shall be looking at the beneficial effects of microorganisms. Some microorganisms, especially bacteria and fungi, are beneficial to man in three major ways, which are in nature, in medicine, and in industry. So we observe the beneficial effect of microorganisms in all these three various ways. So the first one we talk about is in nature. So what are the beneficial effects of microorganisms in nature? Number one, it helps in what? In compost formation. So microorganisms, especially bacteria, aid compost formation through the decay of dead organisms and humus. So that's the aspect of what? The compost formation. Then the second one is nitrogen fixation through the bacteria called the Rhizobium leguminosarium. So this bacteria, it helps to what? To convert nitrogen gas into ammonia, which helps to what? To increase the soil fertility in the soil. And this bacteria, which we call Rhizobium leguminosarium, is gotten from the leguminous plants. So this bacteria, they help to what? To fix nitrogen within the soil. And the third one is it helps to what? To decay cellulose in ruminant animals. And what are ruminant animals? They are animals that eat what? That eat plants. So this digestion of cellulose inside the rumen, and in ruminant animal we have four compartments of stomachs. We have the rumen, we have the reticulum, we have the omasum, and the abomasum. So at the rumen, there is a bacteria inside the rumen. So this function of the bacteria in the rumen, it helps what? To digest cellulose, which is what? The food the animal has eaten. And another one is bacteria, they help to what? To increase soil fertility. So most saprophytic bacteria, due to their decomposition activities, they release nutrients into the soil, which aids its fertility through nitrogen cycle. So there is a bacteria also in the soil that helps to what? To fix nitrogen within the soil, and also helps in what? In the decomposition process. And remember, we talk about decomposition, we talk about what? Decaying of organic matters, dead organic matters, either plants or animals. Looking at the picture that we have here, you see that when this animal died, it's gradually decaying, and until it what? It add nutrients to the soil. So what helps in what? In decaying this organism is what? Bacteria, which is what? The beneficial effect. You're also looking at this aspect of the fruit, which is an apple. So initially it was a fresh green apple, but after the infestation of microorganisms, they what? They help into what? In decomposing, in decaying of these organic matters. Then the next one is we talk about is the beneficial effect of microorganism in the aspect of medicine. So what are the beneficial effects of microorganism when it comes to what? In the medical aspect, which is the medicine? Number one is it helps in what? In the manufacturing of drugs and vaccines. So most microorganisms are used in what? In medicine for manufacturing of drugs, vaccine, antibiotics, which help in the curing of many human disease. Take for instance the aspect of penicillin. Penicillin is a fungi, and penicillin is a what? Is an antibiotics. So that's number one. And number two, it also serves as what? Source of vitamin B. Example that we talk about yeast and some bacteria are rich in the what? Are rich in vitamin B. And the third one is that they are source of enzymes. So certain yeast and bacteria are also what rich source of enzymes like enzyme amylase and invertase. So these enzymes, they are what? They are bacteria. Though, and remember when we talk about enzymes, they are what? Enzymes are organic catalysts that alters or that speed up the rate of chemical reaction. So this enzyme like the aspect of amylase, invertase, they are what? They are bacteria. Are we together? Then the third aspect of the beneficial effect of microorganisms to man is in the aspect of what? Industry. So how has microorganism help in what? In industry? Number one, in the aspect of what? Of baking. So we all know that when we need to bake, one major ingredient that we need is what? The yeast. And this yeast is a fungi. I know that fungi is one of the group of what? Of microorganism. So yeast is useful in baking industry, and it causes dough to rise in bread and other allied food processing. So just like in the aspect of adding yeast in order to make what? Dough, puff puff, or all these uh confectionaries. So yeast are used in what? In making them to what? To live in, that is to rise. And the second one is in the preparation of alcoholic drink. So another type of microorganism that we use in the preparation of alcoholic drink is what? Yeast. So it is used in what? In brewing industries, used for fermentation of sugar to produce alcohol. So the microorganism that we use in what? In fermentation process is what? The yeast. So another one is what? In the curing of tobacco. So bacteria are used in the curing or the ripening of tobacco leaf. So when we talk about this microorganism, especially what? The bacteria, they are useful in ripening tobacco leaves. So then we move on to the harmful effects of microorganisms. Even though they are beneficial to the earth, they are also harmful to what? To human body. So we'll not discuss on the harmful effect of microorganisms. Number one is that it cause disease. So microorganisms are responsible for various disease in plant and animal. Take for example the present pandemic that is ravaging the world today, which is what? The coronavirus disease. So it is caused by what? Caused by microorganism. Even in the aspect of Ebola disease, HIV, all this, even in the aspect of plants, all these disease, they are as a result of what? Harmful effects of microorganism. And another one we have is what? Spoilage of food. Take for instance now from the picture we are seeing on the screen, looking at this banana, it is because of what? The infection of microorganism that has gotten to the point whereby this banana is overripe, and then it has resulted in what? Into spoilage. So microorganism infestation also spoils food. And also it talks about what? Deterioration of materials. That is when materials are being invaded by microorganisms, they destroy the what? The materials. Take for instance the aspect of books or paper. When microorganisms feed on them, they destroy the quality of such book or paper. We also have leather, iron. So that is the aspect of what? Harmful effects of microorganism. Then we now move on to the various disease caused by microorganism. Remember when we talk about the harmful effect, the first one we discussed was that what? Microorganism cause disease. So we now want to talk about the various disease caused by microorganisms. So the first one we talked there is plant disease caused by virus and bacteria. So we have various plant disease that is caused by virus and bacteria. So by virus we have the rosette disease, we have the cassava mosaic disease, we have the yam mosaic disease, we have the swollen shoot disease. So we have as many diseases that are caused by virus to plants. We also have disease that are caused by bacteria to plant, and out of it we have the black arm, we have the leaf light of cassava. So we also have the bacteria wheat, we have the bacteria fire blade, we have the yam rots. And so as many as we could mention that are caused by what? Bacteria to plants. And also we talk about animal disease caused by virus. So we have various disease that virus has caused to what? To animals, both human being and domestic and wildlife. So first of which we talk about is measles, we have smallpox, we have AIDS, we have flus. So these are the what? The disease caused by virus. And that's what about the disease caused by bacteria to animals. So we have tuberculosis, we have leprosy, we have cholera, we have dysentery, we have gonorrhea, we have syphilis, and we have what we refer to as what? Whooping cough. So as many as we could mention. So all these disease, they are caused by what? They are caused by bacteria to animals. And then how can we control this harmful disease? Despite the fact that they are harmful to the earth, then how can we control them? So in this aspect, we can talk about what? The control of microorganisms. Like I said, that microorganisms cannot withstand high temperature. So when microorganisms are subjected to high temperature, it makes them what? Inactive. So this involves sterilization by boiling, autoclaving, or eating of food and many other products to kill the pathogen. Remember when we talk about pathogen, they are what? They are disease causing microorganisms, as they are killed or destroyed at very high temperature. So that tells us that microorganisms, they cannot withstand high temperature. And number two is the use of drugs or antibiotics. So many diseases can be controlled through the what? Through the taking of drugs or antibiotics in order to kill the microorganism. Example of such drug is when I talk about what? Chloroquine. So this chloroquine is very active in killing the malaria parasite, which is what? Plasmodium. And also we have immunization or vaccination. So this immunization is a process by which the person is inoculated with a preparation of a made form of pathogen. So that's what immunization. So by then we now talk about what? When an healthy person is inoculated against what? Against any oncoming disease or virus. That's what? In immunization. So immunization or vaccination can be used to what? To control harmful microorganism. Then we also talk about maintenance of good health. So how can we what? How can we maintain our good health? Number one is what? Protection of food. We should ensure that food are what? Food are protected. So prepare food in a clean environment, cook it, boil it very well, understand? So and ensure that it is well preserved before what? Before eating. So protection of food. Another one is protection of water. Why? Because water also can be a medium through which microorganism can what? Can enter the body. So if we protect the water, both the water we drink and the one we use for domestic purpose. So if these water are what? Are protected, then it's also a means of what? Of controlling, of maintaining what? A good health. And also we now talk about what? The control of disease. Number one, we talk about under the control of disease, we talk about what? This infectious disease can be controlled either by what? Ensuring a good environment, vaccines, we should change our behavior, medications, or what? Or a good surveillance. So these are the method of what? Of controlling disease. Like in Nigeria, we have an organization called Nigeria Center for Disease Control, which is what? NCDC. So this organization, they are there to what? To control disease in the country. So which is what? One of the method of maintaining good health. And lastly, we now talk about health organizations. We have various health organizations in Nigeria and throughout the whole world. We have UNICEF, we have National Medical Association, we have Nigerian Red Cross, and we also have World Health Organizations. So all these health organizations, they are there in order to what? To safeguard the health of what? Of people through the method of what? Of controlling microorganisms. So this is when we talk about what? Maintenance of good health, or what? Maintenance of public good health.